You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Hi, everybody. I'm Bonnie Rose. I'm the minister here. You all know that, I think, right? Anyway, welcome to our beautiful center, our Center for Spiritual Living, and our Center of Kindness and Love, where we aspire to be love, share love, and serve love. No, be love, share love, and serve love, in that order. Okay, so it's great to see all of you, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to Lonnie Cassidy, our board president, and she's going to take it away.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I think you were just testing us, Bonnie.
On what?
On be love, share
Oh,
love,
yeah,
serve
that's
love.
right. Yeah.
It's right there.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, welcome, everyone. It's so great to see you this morning. And shout out to our Facebook and YouTube visitors. We're so happy you joined us. What a great day. We got Margaret in the house.
I know. Yay, Margaret.
Practitioner.
Yeah.
We're so blessed and are so glad that you can join us, so just enjoy.
Thanks. And now let's hear from, where is she? Oh, there she is. Hi, Susie. Hi, Kennedy. Good to see you. Thanks. Welcome.
Talking about affirmations. Good morning. We are in youth this morning. We're going to be talking about affirmations, and we're going to open. Janet Taylor's going to come and join us.
Hi,
By the
Janet.
way, Janet Taylor is a Girl Scout, and she is selling Girl Scout cookies.
Yay!
And yes, and she will be available in the social hall after service today. So if you wanted to find this beautiful young lady and get your Thin Mint fix, she's available.
Wait, we have to wait until then because I'm, oh, okay. Oh, no, I'll wait.
And if you can't wait, she's
Yeah.
right here.
Okay.
All right, Kennedy's going to open today because we are talking about affirmations, talking about her favorite affirmation.
I have the power to change the world.
Woohoo!
I'm not sure I can follow that, but I have a few that we're going to talk about today. And one is, continue to shine because you will achieve whatever you want. So keep on dreaming because nothing can destroy your peace of mind. You are
Amen.
on the right path. Just keep exploring whatever piques your interest because you are the hero of your family, your community, and your world. So be unafraid of taking risks. Now, when you reach for the sky, you may fall. Just keep reaching. And who you are inspires others. So just keep on being. Keep to creating and learning and growing and expanding and teaching peace and unity and compassion and empathy through your kindness, your service, and your love. Everything you need will come to you in perfect timing. So keep on shining. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, Susie. Thank you. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Bonnie, I hate to say it, I'm already crying just watching
oh.
those kids.
Oh, my goodness,
gosh.
yeah.
Ooh, let's see how this goes. I just want everyone to know that the practitioners and ministers are standing strong right here, right now in the sanctuary. So if you are viewing this online, just know that we stand for you always. So just taking a very deep breath, allowing your awareness to simply join with that source energy that is all there is, and allowing your awareness to deepen as it sinks into your heart, where love and kindness and peace and joy shine bright. And just breathing into that space of all of that and so much more. I know that this day is sacred and holy. I know that through the music and the words, we hear exactly what is needed, and we take away for the week a kernel of truth. Truth that spirit is love, truth that Spirit is within each and every one of us, and truth that we are unified because there is only one living and having its being by means of us. So knowing that that is the truth with a capital T, knowing that it is filled with love and joy today and always, I simply release my word into that law of love that has already said yes, 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 so we can shine brightly. And I simply let it be, and so it is.
And so it is. We give thanks for Reverend Susan and her beautiful words as we continue to breathe deeply and anchor ourselves in that place of oneness, that place that is always with us, that place that we sometimes forget, but now let's remember it. Let us be still and know the truth of our being that is pure love. And as we do so, we open our hearts to hear the words of our sacred reading.
A poem by the Sufi poet Hafiz. Light will someday split you open, even if your life is now a cage. Little by little, you will turn into stars. Little by little, you will turn into the whole sweet, amorous universe. Love will surely burst you wide open into an unfettered, booming new galaxy. You will become so free in a wonderful, secret, and pure love that flows from a conscious, one-pointed, infinite light. Even then, my dear, the beloved will have fulfilled just a fraction of a promise she wrote upon your heart. For a divine seed, the crown of destiny is hidden and sown on an ancient fertile plain you hold the title to. Oh, look again within yourself, for I know you were once the elegant host to all the marvels in creation. When your soul begins to ever bloom and laugh and spin in eternal ecstasy, oh, little by little, you will turn into God. Amen.
Let us know together that there is inevitably a promise that is written upon our hearts, the promise of our true nature, the promise of the true nature of all that is, not only us as individuals, but us collectively, for all of the beings in the world. Humans, the animals, the rocks, the stars, the sun, the ocean, all of it. All of it is the incarnation of spirit, of love becoming love through all things. And so today, as we sing our chant, I am remembering who I am. Yes, we remember something. We remember something of who we are. But just as Brother Hafiz said in that poem, there's so much more to remember because we are the infinite. And so today, as we sing together, I am remembering who I am. I am remembering the infinite being of love that I am. Let us go even deeper as we remember for ourselves, as we remember for every single person in this room, as we remember for all beings everywhere, as we remember for the entire cosmos. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering.
the stress you're under, after you see the struggle where you stand, before you worry one more precious moment, I urge you to let it get out of hand. Lay your burden, lay it on down. Lay your burden, lay it on down. It just ain't healthy carrying all that stuff around. So lay your burden, lay it all down. Sometimes it's hard to see the bigger picture. You try to carry it all on your own. Let me remind you there's a higher power. Let me remind you you are not alone. Lay your burden, lay it all down. Lay your burden, just lay it on down. Just ain't healthy carrying all that stuff around. So lay your burden, lay it all down. It's a sense of peace, it's a different view, it's a sweet release and a healing too. It's a lighter load on a heavy heart, it's a smoother road and a brand new start. So lay your burden, lay it all down. Lay your burden, lay it all down. It just ain't healthy carrying all that stuff around. So lay your burden, lay it all down. Lay your burden, lay it all down.
Well, hello, everybody. Good to see you. So today I'm speaking about from nothing to everything. And we'll see where that goes. I want to start by telling a story about Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. King was in a bookstore in Harlem, and he had just released his first book. And he was signing books, and there was a long line of people. And suddenly a woman cut from the line and came up to him. She was wearing evidently rhinestone glasses. Remember those pointy rhinestone glasses? And she said to him, "Are you Dr. Martin Luther King?" And he said, "Yes." She proceeded to take a knife out of her purse and stab him in the chest. Yes, really. And he was incredibly calm about it. You know, this picture is actually a picture of him right after getting stabbed. And if you look closely, I didn't want to put a red circle around it because I didn't want to emphasize that, but there is actually a knife sticking out of his chest, a small knife sticking out of his chest. And they took him to the hospital, and the doctor said, if you had sneezed, if you had even sneezed or moved in the wrong way, this could have killed you. Years later, when Dr. King was giving his last speech before he was killed, one of his lines in the speech was, as he told the story, "I'm so glad I didn't sneeze." Because he had work to do, didn't he? And this was actually a turning point in his life. While he was in the hospital, Dr. Howard Thurman, who is another brilliant African-American scholar who was of great influence on Dr. King and also associated with Gandhi, Howard Thurman came and spoke with Martin Luther King in the hospital. And he said, "Martin, you need to deepen your channels." Now, what does that mean? I take it to mean that he needed to deepen his inner power, his soul force, as they say in India at times, as you deepen your soul force so that you can withstand anything. So that you can withstand anything and respond to whatever happens with love. And that's part of what we're talking about today. The book of the month that we're featuring is called Gandhi the Man by Eknath Easwaran. It's a really good book. As I've gotten older, my reading comprehension has decreased a tad. Anybody else? I see people nodding. Yeah, okay, good. Show of pinkies, right? Right. But I've been listening to this on Audible. Hugh and I went on a long journey yesterday to Thousand Oaks. We hardly ever go anywhere, so Thousand Oaks seemed like an epic journey, and we listened to it, and it's really good. It's really readable and really listenable, and it really encapsulates the work of Gandhi. Now, there's a story in this book about an American journalist that approached Gandhi and wondered with Gandhi, Gandhi, you have revolutionized India. You have taken down the British Empire without firing even a shot. What is the secret of your life? And Gandhi said 3 words. He said, what is the secret of your life in 3 words? And Gandhi said, renounce and enjoy. Renounce and enjoy. So today, we're looking at those words. We're exploring the spiritual value of these words. We're going to try them on for size. You may or may not like them. They may not be your 3 words. But the purpose of today is to at least practice these words, to try them on for size so that we may live in the fullness of emptiness. See the paradox there? We'll get there. Emptiness is amazing. Renounce and enjoy. But first, the fullness of emptiness. Okay, I'm going to get super mystical on all y'all right now, okay? Just so you know, and I'm starting to speak Southern because I'm a little uncomfortable with it, okay? So I'm fixing to get super mystical, okay? There you go. So this is from the Upanishads, and I actually had a conversation with somebody about this in India, and it's on my mind, and it's also in this article by this guy that I know who's Indian who lives in Northern California named Somik, so I want to just give credit to those folks. Anyway, from the Upanishads, that is whole, this is whole. From that wholeness comes this wholeness. When this wholeness is taken away from that wholeness, what remains is wholeness. So who would like to come up here and explain what that means? Anybody? Margaret? Yeah? The guy in India said, think of a mother and a baby. That a mother who is pregnant, think of that. When the mother and the baby together are whole, right? When she gives birth, something has been removed from her, but she is still whole, and the baby in itself is still whole. And I think what it really means is that the nature of wholeness is omnipresent and cannot be diminished by anything. Wholeness cannot be broken. Even though wholeness contains the appearance of brokenness, our wholeness cannot be broken. The wholeness of the universe cannot be broken. We may feel broken. We may feel like somebody else is broken. We may feel like our life is broken. We may feel like the world is broken. But underneath those appearances, everything remains wholeness. Wholeness is what remains. You can also use the word infinity. This is an infinite. This is that is infinite. This is infinite. From infinity comes infinity. When infinity is taken away from infinity, what remains is still infinity. Did that help? Possible explanation, again. Consciousness, which is another word for wholeness, which is another word for allness, which is another word for I am, which is another word for all of us. Consciousness is always whole. Consciousness cannot be diminished. Your wholeness, my wholeness, our wholeness is always wholeness. And because that is so, emptiness is always fullness. My friend Somik tried to explain this numerically. He's a scientist and a computer programmer, I believe, and a statistician. And so I know that those the little things are a little hard to see. It was the only graphic I could get. But anyway, what my brother Somik says is that if you take all of the numbers, all of the positive numbers, up to infinity, which isn't really a place, but anyway, you take all of the positive numbers and you take all of the negative numbers and you add them together, what do you get? Zero. Zero. So infinity, the infinity symbol there is saying, wait a minute, so I'm really zero? I'm really nothing? And the zero over there is saying, wait a minute, I'm really everything? The purpose of looking at this is that to recognize that even in math, the void, the zero, contains everything. And even the void in life, in the appearance of the absence of wholeness, a void is the container for everything. I promise I'm going to get down to earth very soon, okay? All right. 0 minus 0 equals 0 is another name for everything. My emptiness equals wholeness. Your emptiness equals wholeness. Our emptiness equals wholeness and infinite possibility. And remember how I said I was going to get down to earth? Maybe think of it like this. When you let the cat out of the bag, right? Does anybody here have a cat? Just raise your hand if you have a cat. And does your cat love to go in things like bags and whatnot, right? Or if you put something tiny on the bed, they have to sit there like this on the bed, you know, like a little book or something. Cats love to go into bags. Here's another thing. I'm gonna stop waxing poetic about cats in just a minute. But have you ever bought your cat like a really expensive bed, and then they sleep in the box that the bed came in, right? Happens, right? But anyway, think of this bag. This bag has the potential to contain anything. The cat goes in the bag. When the cat goes out of the bag, the cat is still whole. The bag is not broken. The bag just happens to be empty, which means that it has the potential to hold something else. Can you apply that to your life? The loss of something is the potential for something greater to come in. Maybe 2 cats next time. Maybe a guinea pig. Maybe, okay, never mind. All right. So whatever door closes, you know, the door closes, another door opens. Whatever emptiness we might feel in whatever circumstances, always the capacity for something greater to come in, right? Because emptiness is the same thing as saying everything. Nothing is everything. So renounce and enjoy. Renounce. How many of you love the word renounce? Okay, all right. There's some rumors about the word renounce, right? I was hesitant to put that on the Facebook page because I thought nobody's going to want to come if I tell people they have to renounce their stuff, you know? Last week, I talked about Gandhi, how he had 6 possessions, and one of our practitioners promised that she would show up wearing Gandhi's loincloth. Did she do it? No. Where is she? I told her it's probably just at the cleaners, right? Yeah, okay. That's the reason. But renunciation has kind of a bad name. I talked to another one of our practitioners about, how do you feel about me using the word renunciation or renounce? And she said, well, when I was a Catholic, they told me that I had to renounce Satan. See, I'm getting Southern again? Yeah. Satan. In order to learn more about renouncing Satan, because I wasn't raised in that kind of church, I watched Ernest Angley. Anybody ever seen him? Ernest Angley and Catherine Kuhlman. And people would come up to them and they would say, like, demons out, like that. And then they'd be healed. They'd be healed. Don't you wish we could do that now? Anybody? No. Okay. So it's not that kind of a renunciation, okay? We don't talk a lot about Satan in this church. Part of it, which because we have a mystical version, a mystical interpretation of all spiritual teachings, really, but that one from the Christian Bible and Judeo-Christian Bible. And we talk about, in Aramaic, Satan is not an anti-God. Satan is, it's so weird to be up here talking about Satan. I better say it with a Southern accent, right? Ernest Holmes said that evil is not a power that is equal to good, that there are not two powers. There's only one power for good, and that evil is really an absence of good, right? So when we talk about Satan or an anti-God or evil, life is supposed to be joyful. Life is supposed to be joyful. Just say that with me. Life is supposed to be joyful. Your life is supposed to be joyful right now. Without waiting for anything to change, life is supposed to be joyful. Our joy not only it's not indulgent joy, it's not selfish joy, because our joy is one of the best gifts that we can give to the world. Our joy multiplies and blesses the world, right? So renunciation is that we renounce that which impedes the fulfillment of our joy. We renounce the fulfillment, we renounce that which impedes the fulfillment of our sense of emptiness, which is really joy in disguise. We renounce that which impedes our fulfillment. And oh my goodness, there are many things that impede the fullness of God as it wants to express through us. Anybody have anything that impedes their fullness? I know I do. I've been engaging in a renunciation practice pretty much since I read those words in that Gandhi book. It's been a little over a week now. And what I do is I just meditate and I just ask the divine, what is it that I am called to renounce today? It's something new every day. And I don't renounce it for good. I don't let it go for good. I pick it up during the week usually, or during the day, or the next minute. But there are so many beautiful things that we can let go of. Ernest Holmes said that we are called to let go of petty thinking and small ideas. Petty thinking and small ideas. How wonderful to let go of that. Another thing that we are called to renounce is our need for approval. It gets in the way, doesn't it? It gets in the way so that we sell our soul so that people will like us. Another thing that we can renounce is control, trying to control everything, trying to control that which is beyond our control. Anybody here ever tempted to control life? Okay, oh, lots of hands. Okay, good. We renounce outcomes. Napoleon Hill says that we have a burning desire for something to happen, and yes, we do, but then we cast that into the universe and allow the divine to manifest that burning desire, this or something better. We don't have to be attached to the outcomes that we put out there, because there is perhaps a greater outcome that is waiting for us. I've had that so many times where I've prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for something to happen, something that I think I want, and then something greater happens. And of course, behind everything that we want is the desire for union with God. And that thing that happens that is greater brings me greater union with the divine. Oh, another thing that we can renounce is the how. How am I going to do this? Has anybody here ever stopped themselves because they have this big idea and then they're like, well, no, I don't know how. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, this happens to me all the time. But what if, I'm not going to say what if, I know that the divine knows the how. We just have to renounce the how, let it go, and give it to the divine. Another thing that is really, really prevalent right now in the world is criticism. There's a lot of critics around. Have you noticed? A lot of outrage, a lot of criticism. What if we were to release criticism of self and others? What would that be like? When you're criticizing, it feels like you're accomplishing something, doesn't it? It feels like you're changing something, perhaps changing yourself, perhaps changing others. But really what it does is it just takes up a lot of room in our consciousness. What if we were to release disdain? Laughing at that one because I'm a compulsive eye roller, right? And eye rolling is such a signal of disdain. You know, you've heard about virtue signaling. I can be a disdain signaler at times. I know I've told you this before, but when I first started at the church and I felt like nobody liked me, I went to a psychic on the phone, and she said, "You have to stop rolling your eyes." And my response was, "I am not rolling my eyes." Yeah. What about renouncing perfectionism? Do you know that sometimes people don't even try new things because they're afraid they won't be perfect? Are you willing to fail before you excel? Isn't that a beautiful concept? Can we fail before we excel? Can we fail with joy before we excel? Yes, good, hallelujah. Oh, here's another one. Thinking I am right and others are wrong. What if, oh, that was a painful little groan out of the congregation. Okay, I don't think I need to say anything more about that. It sounds like all y'all understand that, okay? So, addiction to brain chemical hits. I mean lots of things by that. You can just talk amongst yourselves as to what gets your brain chemicals going. I actually spoke with a billionaire when I was in India, and I was asking him, he was making the transition to leaving his business behind and going into a spiritual community. And I asked him, what's the hardest part? He said, the adrenaline hit, the oxytocin hit. When I get a deal, and I know I've been successful, and it just gives me such a hit in my head. For me, it's playing Candy Crush. I mean, that to me is just like swiping. But, you know, it can be anything, really, from the sublime to the ridiculous, whatever it is. We can just monitor that, see what is getting our brain chemicals all riled up, and then just say, you know what, let's just try renouncing this. We don't have to renounce any of this stuff permanently. If you don't like it, you can pick it up again. Trust me, it will come tapping at your window and ask you to pick it up again. And you can always say yes. But it really is a beautiful thing to just practice letting it go and seeing what happens. Another one is addictive thoughts and behaviors. Again, I don't think I need to talk much more about that other than the fact that Richard Rohr, Franciscan mystic, says that we're all addicts and our primary addiction is the way that we think. The way that we think. The way that we think we're right. Has anyone seen The Crown? That movie, or the TV show, The Crown? It's really good, right? Yeah, but I hadn't seen it for a long time, so I started watching it over, and I'm watching it like in the 50s, and they're saying all this stuff. Like, well, I'll just paraphrase, but like, divorced people are unworthy, and we should all aspire to be more like the British Empire. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they think it's real. They think it's real. They think that we should all think that way. But what if we're the same in our own little way? What if all y'all should aspire to be more like me? That would be a scary place. Everybody would be walking around like this, right? Okay. Oh, another thing to renounce is people-pleasing. Do I need to say more about that? Nah, we get it, right? And here's the other thing. You know, we're going to have all of these things come up for us, these things and more. This is just my list of what came up for me when I was driving to work today. No, these are things that have come up over the last few weeks that I've been doing this. It's not so much that these things come up as that we identify with them. We identify with them. We think they're the truth. We think they're the truth of how we have to be. And really, they're about as truthful as that we all have to try and be more like the British Empire. I don't want to be like the British Empire. I have no desire to be like the British Empire. I want to be me. You want to be you. You want to be the best you that you can be. We want to be the best us that we can be. So we don't have to over-identify with any of the struggles that we have. We can just let them go. Let them go and see them floating off on a wave of the Holy Spirit, the wholeness of spirit, into the native nothingness from whence they came. So that's the practice of renunciation. So for all of us, about all of us, you know, I would suggest taking a little time. You can sit down and meditate if you want to do it, or you can just throughout your day ask yourself, what am I holding on to right now? What am I telling myself right now? And then just trust your inner guidance. Ask, is this something that I want to relax or renounce? Is this something that I can renounce? And then just keep repeating it over and over again. Whether it's in a meditation, if you start your day with that type of meditation or end your day with that meditation, you'll find that you do it all day long. And if an early morning or midday or evening full-on meditation is not going to work for you, then just practice it as you're going about your day, noticing what you're thinking and saying, wow, this feels awfully critical. I wonder if I let go of this critical, think about that cat. The criticism cat will jump out of the bag and the bag will be empty for something greater. Maybe that's part of, well, I won't say maybe, again, that is part of our personal happiness, in my opinion. And then know also that the measure of success of renunciation is not pain. I think that's why renunciation has a bad name, is that people think that it's supposed to be painful. People think that we're supposed to give away all of our stuff, right? We may let go of our attachment to our stuff, but the symbol that renunciation is successful or working for us is that we're more joyful. We feel lighter. We feel like we're able to take on anything. We feel like the criticism of others can't derail us like it used to. That was such a feature of Gandhi's life, is that people treated him horribly, and yet he would just respond to them with love, with great love and great tenderness. Doesn't mean you need to let people walk on you, but you can say no with great love and great tenderness. So increased joy means that we are truly renouncing that which stands in the way, that which impedes our greatest good, the fulfillment of our hearts. When we renounce joy, what remains is joy. There's a little paradox for you, right? Yeah. You can even renounce joy, but it becomes renunciation at some point becomes so joyful that even when we renounce joy, we're like, yeah, I just renounced joy. And there's still joy. It's kind of like when you let go of wholeness, there's still wholeness, right? That mystical thing that I didn't really understand, that nobody else Margaret wanted to explain it. But that thing, when you let go of wholeness, there's still wholeness. When we let go of joy, there's still joy because we've had the joy of letting go. How about that? How about that? When we are joyful, we know we are on the right track. I want to share a little wisdom from our community. Last week, I just mentioned in passing that Gandhi's secret of life was renounce and enjoy. Somebody came up to me afterwards, perhaps her name is Deborah, or Shmebra, it could be either one, Deborah. And she came up to me and she said, but what about that and? What about that and? Why did he include and? My thought was like, yeah, he could have said eat, pray, love, 3 verbs, but he said renounce and enjoy. And so I gave some super nerdy answer about something, and she said, you know what I think it means? I think it means that they're both essential to each other. I like that answer better. Deborah stumped me, and she had the better answer. Renounce and enjoy. And then I was speaking with my brother Nipun about that you have to have both renunciation and joy, and he said, yeah, but you always have to start with renunciation. The joy follows renunciation. And I agree with that to a point, but again, what I said before, the two become one. There's this great verse from the Gospel of Thomas, which is an apocryphal gospel, meaning that it didn't quite make the canonical Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Thomas over here, but it's a mystical gospel. And there's this whole verse, which I won't quote completely because I don't remember all the details, but it's when the inner becomes the outer, and the outer becomes the inner, and the male becomes the female, and the female becomes the male, and the above becomes the below, and the below becomes the above, then we are in the realm of heaven, the dimension of oneness. The dimension of oneness. So at some point, renunciation becomes joy, and joy becomes renunciation. And the two function as a Mobius strip, where you're not sure whether you're renouncing or you're joyful, but it all feels so good that you don't even care, right? That comes after a little bit of practice, but it doesn't take long. It really doesn't. Just this renunciation practice, starting with renunciation and feeling how light and joyful and equipped we feel, how equipped we feel to meet the challenges of the world because we are emptying ourselves of of ego, emptying ourselves of that which stands in the way of the higher truth that longs to express through us, that becomes so joyful that it becomes joyful to renounce again and again and again. More wisdom from our community. You've heard me tell about Quaker Barbie, right? Quaker Barbie? Maybe not. Okay, there's a lot of new people here. Okay, so we have another person in the center. Perhaps her name is Amy, and Amy is a practitioner, and she was raised by a Quaker mother. And Amy, who loves fashion, who is actually a well-known fashion designer, when she was a little girl, she wanted a Barbie doll. Who here played with Barbies? I didn't. I played with a skeleton, but that's a whole other story. Okay. Amy wanted a Barbie doll. And her mother didn't want to give Amy a Barbie doll because she felt like it was anti-feminist. I mean, you know how Barbie looks, right? You know, she's kind of, well, never mind. I won't go into it. But anyway, Amy just wanted Barbie because she wanted to design clothes for her. Finally, she got this old hacked-up Barbie from some thrift store or what have you, and she had it for a little while, but her mother took it away and gave it away again, and Amy didn't get her Barbie. And when we last talked about it, Amy gave me permission to tell this story, by the way. We talked about it more in terms of the effect that it had, or the effect that I see in a lot of people, in that we think that our offering to the world is somehow not enough. Amy was made to bring beauty into the world. I experienced the same thing when I was working as a singer. I had just come from a job where I was working with people with spinal cord injuries, and I was taking care of people with quadriplegics and people with paraplegia and people in comas and all kinds of things. And I was like, they were putting on a costume and getting on a stage and singing opera, and I was like, how can this be enough? How can this be enough? I should be healing the sick. You know my theory that when I say thy will be done, I'm always afraid that God is going to send me to live in a hut in Guam. If you're from Guam, I apologize. I hear it's a very nice place. But again, Amy was concerned that bringing beauty into the world was somehow not enough, that she kind of had to suffer more or do something more serious. And finally, when we last talked about it, we resolved it by saying this. We understand that you may be ashamed of bringing beauty into the world and feeling like it's not enough. But look at who you're talking to. Look at who you're talking to. The one who makes flowers. The one who makes sunsets. The one who makes oceans and sea life and the animal kingdom and giraffes and bugs and beetles and hummingbirds. Look how much beauty, look at the explosion of beauty there is in this galaxy. Look at the planets, look at the stars, look at everything. Why would we be ashamed of bringing beauty into the world when the divine brings beauty into the world automatically? And I'm sure seeks that expression through each and every one of us. And so the message for all of us here today is to find our beauty, to find our joy, to find whatever our purpose is, and to express that fully and freely, understanding that it is not only enough, it is more than enough, and that it blesses the entire cosmos. Our unique expression is God individuated, longing to express through us in a wonderful way that it wouldn't have unless we were here. That's your karma, folks. Time to deal with it. The greatest renunciation, I think, is fear of death. Fear of death. Over-identification with death as the end. Because having done, 150, 200 memorials, I know that death is not the end. I can often feel the presence of the deceased in the room making jokes, tripping me up, making me say the wrong thing, making the speakers say the wrong thing, making the lights not come on, making the tech not work. Dead people have an amazing sense of humor, I have to tell you. So the greatest renunciation is fear of death, or over-identification with death. If we are afraid of death, the fear of death drives so much of destructive behavior in the world. I said it last week. It's grief. Greed is grief in disguise, and ignorance and anger, fear, all of that is fear of death. And all of our smaller destructive behaviors are outpicturings of that, right? About Gandhi's relationship with death, There were 18 assassination attempts on his life. And you know what? He refused to get a bodyguard. He refused to get a bodyguard because he was not over-identified with death. As my brother Nipun says, my spiritual teacher from India, now living in Northern California, he said that when he said if Gandhi ever got shot, which he did eventually, that Gandhi would be like, ha ha, I'm not going to die. I'm like, yeah, I thought he said Ram Ram when he died, but that's another story. But anyway, that Gandhi was not afraid of death. He withdrew support from the illusion of death, because death is an illusion. We live forever because we are the I Am presence. So Gandhi withdrew support from the illusion of death, just as we can withdraw support from the illusion of evil, right? The illusion of anything that is against us. And that means refusing to over-identify with an illusion, with that whole list of things that I gave before, or the illusion of death, or anything else. And one of the things that I think Gandhi said, but I'm not sure, he said, the problem with death is that it cannot kill us. Get it? Yeah. We will live forever. All of the mystics say that. Ernest Holmes says that. We will live forever, not in this particular body. You know, death is both real and unreal. This body, the brain activity will cease, the heart will cease. But there is something within us that lives forever. And who knows what that could be? Because this life is pretty darn beautiful, pretty darn good. What if the next life is even better? To close out this talk about nothing and everything, let's take a moment to read together who we are. This is from the poem that Hugh read by Hafiz, and I paraphrased it a little bit so we can read it together. And just to celebrate the mystery that we are, that we arrive at through this release of anything that stands in the way of this truth of our being. So let us read together, and here we go. Little by little, we turn into stars. Little by little, we turn into the whole sweet, amorous universe. Love bursts us wide open into an unfettered, booming new galaxy. So turn to somebody and say, you are the whole sweet, amorous universe. Turn to somebody. You are the whole sweet, amorous universe over there. Yeah, that's right. You believe it? Yes. Good. And so it is. Let us pray. The whole sweet, beautiful, amorous universe, here we are. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I know that there is only one life, and that life is God's life. And that life includes everything. It is nothing and everything at the same time, and that life is our life right here and right now. How beautiful it is to identify with that life, with the truth of our being, with the truth of our existence, and to know that we also are that wholeness and that fullness that is also emptiness, that we abide in the paradoxes of the mystical being that we truly embody. And so I relax and know that this place within me that is beyond words, that may not even understand what I'm talking about, that there is this place within me that is so full of goodness, so full of emptiness, and so full of joy and wisdom and peace and power. And that this place within me continues to expand into grace and continues to bless my life in seen and unseen ways. Today, I commit, and by I mean all of us, I commit to aligning with that, to aligning to the truth of our being, to aligning with the truth of us that knows who we truly are. And from that place, all things flow, all blessings flow. Our lives are easy. Our lives are complete. Our lives are joyful. Our lives are peaceful. Any adversity is met with greater and greater love. Any hint of aggression is met with gentleness and kindness and love. Any challenge is met with possibility. And through it all, we remember who we are. We remember that oneness that cannot be tarnished, that cannot be burdened, that cannot be gone from this beautiful I Am presence that we are. And so I'm just so grateful for this teaching, so grateful for all teachings everywhere, so grateful for the transformation that I know is occurring on a cellular level, on a soul level for all of us. And I bless this beautiful center. I bless how it changes lives and how we come together. I bless how everybody has shown up today to gather in this spirit of sacredness so that we can embody it and then bring it out into our own world, into our own relationships, our own circumstances, so that we truly participate in the cosmos of love becoming love. I bless this path. I bless all paths to God. Churches, synagogues, temples, ashrams, mosques, Sikh gurdwaras. I bless fundamentalists and atheists and agnostics. I bless all beings everywhere, all of the religions I haven't mentioned. I bless everyone, for everyone is a blessing. And with a heart that is so filled with love and gratitude, I say, thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, and I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Hey, Lonnie.
Hi, Bonnie. Renounce and enjoy. Sort of feels like Margaret's song, laying your burden down. And this morning, as we prepare our offering, I invite you to renounce and enjoy. Let go of whatever that is that's burdening you and embrace the joy. You showed up here today, this beautiful message, music, we're holding that space for you. Just soak it in. Mm-hmm. So I invite you to place your offering over your heart and repeat after me. We trust in spirit.
We trust in spirit.
Love is a giver and receiver of all that we are.
Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are.
We offer this gift.
We offer this gift.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
Our gifts bless many.
Our gifts bless many.
Multiplied in miraculous ways.
Multiplied in miraculous ways.
So that we may give again.
So that we may give again.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Lonnie.
It's good, it's fun, it's connected, it's one, it's everything and more I dreamed it'd be. Quietly guided by divinity, the evidentials clearly show the power that comes from letting go. And I am surrendering to this unyielding bliss. I say, yes, universe, bring me more of this. No longer focused on the things I lack. When the thoughts of doubt come, I just send them packing. Got a clear perspective on the strength inside me. Finally at peace with where I am and wanna be. Joy's at hand and I confess I am settling for nothing less. And now I'm surrendering to this unyielding bliss. I say, yes, universe, bring me more of this. Shiny, splendid, warm and centered whole, and wanting nothing more. Sheer elation and joyous anticipation of the bounty that's in store. I now command all that you would. I understand what matters most is that I feel good, allowing the power of creation to far exceed my wildest expectation. Surrendering to this unyielding bliss, I say, yes, universe, bring me more of this. Bring me more of this. Bring me more of this. Bring me more of this.
Quick announcements for y'all. Linda, come on up here.
Reverend Bonnie did a beautiful warm-up for what I'm going to share with you.
Awesome.
On February the 18th in the afternoon, we're having a soul collage workshop. It's an experience of allowing your soul to speak to you in ways that are not your left brain, not your logic mind. And in the process, when I took this course, I found out some things that I needed to heal from my childhood. I found my next step in my soul's journey. Didn't understand what I was doing because it was a soul message. And when I asked the facilitator, I'm not sure why I have a wolf on here. She went to her book and she said, it's the teacher. Oh. I almost broke out in tears because I realized that was my soul calling for this part of my life, was teaching. It is a powerful process. It's all intuitive. All the materials are provided for you for $5, and then there's priceless pricing. But it's a beautiful workshop to allow your soul to speak to you. Not at all like a vision board. A beautiful, soul-filled process, February the 18th. And I'm going to be in the fellowship hall if you have any questions. There's a whole article here in a magazine about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. And let me just add a little something about Linda's wolf, because she's modest, but Linda is a fantastic teacher, so this is going to be a great class. Hidden Gospel Part 2, there's one, you can sign up for one more week. It's a class that I'm doing. It's based on this book, The Hidden Gospel, and it includes a lot of Gandhi in it as well, because as I mentioned, I still have one foot in India, so there's a lot of Gandhi floating around in my consciousness right now. You can read the details on the website. As Linda mentioned, the Soul Collage is coming, and we actually have physical sign-up sheets for that as well, if you'd like to sign up for that physically. The annual meeting is coming up. That's February 19th. And we're inviting people to pre-register because we send a report out about what's going on in the church. And if you sign up in advance, then you can get the report before the actual annual meeting, so you don't have to cram when you're sitting in the annual meeting, right? So it's February 19th, and you can sign up online for that, or you can also sign up in the social hall. We've got several outreach opportunities going on, family to family, where we serve lunch to folks. Lift Up Your Voice, which is helping rehome people. There's more information about that on our website. There is also a desk out there. There is I don't know if it's passed yet or not, but there is a fundraiser for the homeless, what's it called? Come on. Homeless Prevention Fund, thank you. There's a flyer out there for that, and our center actually just ties to them as well, so we can help people. It's really important to help people stay in their homes if they can. It's a much better version than having them come out of their homes and then have to be rehomed. There's choir rehearsals, and that is Hearts in Harmony. That's today downstairs from 11:30 to 12:30. We welcome anybody who wants to sing. Anybody who wants to sing can come, just show up, and you are so welcome. After the service, we've got Sunday hospitality through that door and through that door. There's lots of cool stuff in there. We're in the process of getting new T-shirts, but there's still some T-shirts left. There's artwork from one of our practitioners. There are books for sales, and there's also a giveaway table. And then one of the best things you can do after service is to get a prayer. We have amazing practitioners. You'll see them wearing white stoles. They're the people who stood up at the beginning, practitioners and ministers. And you can stop by. They'll be down here in front. You can stop by and get a prayer for whatever came up for you during the service or anything that you brought in with you. They would love to pray with you. It's their honor, and they're so good at it. So I welcome all of you to that, and let's go ahead and we'll close out in prayer. So turning within, let's just remember this sacred feeling in this room and just embody it. Take a moment to breathe it in and to know that it sticks with us all week until we meet again. How wonderful it is to join together in this spirit of truth and love, to recognize what is most important in life and to let go of that which no longer serves us. I bless this sacred time together and know that it has been good and very good. I bless the impact that this service has on the world as we all change and lead by inner transformation, and as we ripple this message out, this message of goodness out to all of the places we encounter this week, all of the people and places we encounter this week. And with a heart that is filled with such gratitude and such love, I say thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Thank you, wholeness. And I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste.